Hi, everyone. Hi. Hi, everyone. Good. Everyone's awake. My name is Jay, and I have a very simple and very important message for all of you today. And that is that when you leave high school, you absolutely do not have to have it all figured out. Let me repeat that. When you leave high school, you absolutely do not have to have it all figured out. And I could sit here and tell you stories for days of the hundreds of people I know who are doing amazing things in their lives and their careers now in their 30s and their 40s and later in life, who had absolutely no idea what they wanted to be or what they would be doing now when they left high school. So it's really important that you understand, even in today's world, that it encourages you and pushes you to try to identify exactly what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. It's really important to know that that's really not normal for the vast majority of the population, and it's totally fine if you don't. What's really important, though, is that you take action to figure out what it is that you do want to do. So the reason this message is so important to me is because over the last 7 or 8 years, I have met about 12,000 students across Canada, and mostly high school students and some in university. And after a number of years of meeting students and having repeated discussions with them, I was very troubled. And what troubled me was that I would meet a ton of amazing students who had all kinds of interests and talents and were energetic and passionate about different things. And having a conversation with them, I would ask them, so what are you interested in? What do you love to do? And they would tell me things like, oh, I love to write, or I love basketball, or I'm fascinated by, taking my computer apart and putting it back together, or, I really love talking with my friends and helping them through troubles. And then I would say, oh, great, well, what do you want to study in university or in college? And they would say, I'm going to do engineering. And I would say, well, hold on a second. You just told me a second ago that you really love to work with other people and help them with their problems and, listen to them. And then you want to do engineering. And I'm just not sure I can make the connection. And they would say, well, that's great. I love to talk to people. I love to help them. But I don't know if I can ever make money doing that. But if I get an engineering degree, there's guaranteed jobs out there. And their energy would be sapped. They went from being so excited and so energetic and so happy to saying, well, here's what I have to do in order to be successful. And I'm here to argue that the first step in anything you do in life should be your interest. And the reason that I'm here today sending this video to you is because all these conversations I had with these thousands of students led me to a program called Discover Year, which I founded. And I'm very passionate about Discover Year and about providing opportunities to young people to help them explore who they are, what they want in the world, how they want to contribute, what's meaningful to them, as opposed to what they believe to be meaningful to society and to others around them. So my purpose, I believe, with this program is to help young people return to a state of natural excitement and fun, enthusiasm when they're leaving high school, because this is one of the most exciting times of your life. And I really want to help young people get back to that. And there's a number of reasons why I don't believe the majority of students leaving high school feel that way, but I do absolutely believe that we can return to that state for everybody. So what we do with the Discover Year program, which is a structured gap year program, which I know is not that popular in Canada yet, but it is growing. So what we do with Discover Year is quite unique. I've never found any other programs that are quite like it. And our basic purpose is to help young adults build the two most important career and life skills moving forward in the 21st century. And those are a sense of agency and adaptability. So what does that mean? A sense of agency means that you have a feeling of control over your life, meaning that you can choose which avenues to pursue, which people to hang out with, what things you want to accomplish in your life, and you believe that you have control over those things. And in order to have this sense of agency, I believe that people require three fundamental things. They require self-confidence, which is often lacking, unfortunately, for a lot of young people today. They require self-motivation, and they require self-awareness. So we focus on helping in a number of different ways, helping young people build those three important skills. And on the other side of the equation for happiness and fulfillment in life is adaptability. And as you can imagine, with the rate of change in technology and all the new things that are being introduced around us in our society, in our economy, it's really important for us to be able to adapt on an ongoing basis because things are changing really, really quickly. So adaptability to me means that someone can pursue their authentic interests, values, and strengths within an existing environment that to some degree dictates what's possible to some degree. In order to be adaptable, I believe there's 4 key ingredients. I believe people need to be creative. They need to be able to think critically. They need to have excellent interpersonal skills, which mostly relates to communication skills and emotional intelligence. And they also need to have resiliency. They need to understand that sometimes you're going to try something and it may not work out, but that's okay. You can shift and try something else that still aligns well with your own motivations, interests, and strengths, and get a lot of fulfillment, but not necessarily exactly what you thought it was going to be when you started. So at Discover Year, we have a number of different elements that we offer to our students, and we help them build different experiences so that they can build these 2 most important skills for the future. And the 3 basic pillars of the program, the 3 ways that we help students achieve these skills, is through experiential learning. So everybody in our program works for about 10 months. They travel anywhere in the world they'd like to go for roughly 1 month out of the year. And they also do volunteer community service in their community or overseas, something that's important to them, a problem that they want to help solve in the world. The second thing that we do is help students with their own self-discovery. So we offer a number of exercises and tools that students can use in order to better understand who they are, what they want in the world. And we also pair them up with a career coach who will meet with them every month over the course of a year to help them identify the goals that they want to pursue and how those relate to their authentic personality and what they want to achieve in the world. And the last essential element of what we offer is crucial skill development. So I mentioned communications earlier, critical thinking, creativity. So we base our series of workshops, which we do every week, around the concepts that are most important to employers today for the job market. So I've met hundreds and hundreds of different employers from all kinds of sectors and industries, and the feedback that they gave me was that there were certain key skills that a lot of students were missing when they came out of their undergraduate degree or their college diploma programs. So we work on those things. We work on communication. So we do a lot of work in public speaking and storytelling. We work on how to write professionally, effectively in the workplace. We talk about intercultural communication. What are the differences in communicating with different people from different nations and cultures, religions, and backgrounds? We look at things like project planning and time management, organizational skills, personal financial management, etc., etc. So these are all really important skills for young people to build today that they often don't have enough of an opportunity in the kind of formal academic setting, I think. So we really focus on those things every week, and we give you an opportunity to learn by doing and applying these different things in your work and with us at Discover Year. The last really important element that we offer students is an amazing community. We have about 100 mentors in our program. I encourage you to go on the website and check them out on the team page. They do all kinds of amazing things. People that are successful entrepreneurs and Stanley Cup champions, people that have earned PhDs, people that are psychologists and amazing tradespeople, people that dropped out of high school and eventually went on to get their doctorate, and all kinds of different amazing parents and teachers and communicators. And we surround you with these people every year, and they'll share their stories with you, their own trials and tribulations and successes in life. And what that does is it enables you to understand that, hey, most people really don't have it all figured out when they leave high school. Look at these amazing people and all they've accomplished. And it really is very inspiring to be part of this incredible network that we have. So, as I mentioned, I know gap years are not a really popular thing yet in Canada. I do believe they will be in the near future much more popular, but understanding that it's not a current popular option for students leaving high school, it's important to identify that those who choose to do a gap year really are demonstrating a lot of courage. So it's hard to do something, especially at the age of 17, 18, 19. It's really hard to do something that's different than what everybody else is doing. Because 17, 18 is an age where we really want to relate to others. We want to prove ourselves. We seek social validation and surround ourselves with a good nucleus of people that will support us. So to say, hey, I'm doing something different, going to be a bit of an outcast, can be difficult. It's difficult, but like many things in life that are difficult, it's really, really important. And not everybody needs to do a gap year, but I personally believe that many more young people should be doing a gap year. So it's important to identify, though, that it does take a lot of courage. And it's also helpful to understand that there are many, many great institutions in the world that actively encourage students to take gap years. One of them being one of the most famous universities in the world, Harvard. Since 1973, Harvard University, for over 40 years, in their offers of admissions to students who are applying to an undergraduate degree, they say, we think you're great. We're accepting you to Harvard. Obviously, you're pretty talented. We want you to come here, but we'd rather you not come here next year. What we'd like you to do is take a year to travel, to do some volunteer work, to gain some experience in the workplace, build some meaning, some maturity, and some purpose in your life, and then come and study here. Because what we found is that people who take a little bit of time between high school and university and then they start studying, they're much more motivated, they're much more involved, they're engaged, they actually perform better academically than people who come directly from high school. And not only that, but they go on, studies have shown later in life, to be more satisfied, more fulfilled, happier in the lives and careers that they lead. So there's a number of other schools that have started offering this structured gap year opportunity to students before they enter their undergraduate degrees, but Harvard is kind of the most notable, who's been doing it for a long time. But in terms of a more personal example, I'd like to share a story about one of our very first students at Discovery Year named Josh. And as soon as I met Josh a couple of years ago, I knew instantaneously that he was the perfect candidate for our program. He was optimistic, he was positive, he was curious, and more than anything, I could tell that he was really quite excited about the possibility of doing something different, which is totally necessary when a program is new, to be innovative. And so Josh did the program, and he grew so much. He did a number of things. He worked a couple of different jobs, mostly in retail, over the course of the year. He attended all of our workshops and met with all our mentors. He visited people in different organizations like Psychologist's Office, at Shopify, at TripAdvisor, where we have different members of our committee. So he explored a lot of different possibilities. He traveled to Germany and to Denmark as well during his month of travel, where he learned a ton and reconnected with some of his former family members. And what was so cool about Josh by the end of the year is that we went back to his old high school to do a community service project that was part of the program. And we walked into his school, and I knew his guidance counselor from previous interactions, and within 5 minutes he came up to me and he said, "Jay, I can't believe that this is the same kid who left here a year ago." And I said, "Well, I don't understand. Tell me what you mean. What's changed?" And he said, "Well, Josh was always a great kid, and I really enjoyed having him here, but when he left, he was obviously very confused, and now he's just got such a sense of confidence and purpose and meaning in the world. And I just see the way he's relating and speaking with the students, his communication skills, he's come so far in a year." And just to see the guidance counselor's reaction to that was a very powerful moment for me, because it was clear to me at that point that we were doing a lot of the right things to help young people improve their lives and gain a sense of purpose and control. And it's great in the moment, Josh. That's clear evidence that taking a year off can be very beneficial. But what I hear more than anything from the people when I chat with them about Discovery Year, especially from older people, is the comment almost everybody says is, "Wow, I wish I had that opportunity when I was 18. Do you have any programs for 30-year-olds? Do you have any programs for 40-year-olds? And what that says to me is that it's hard to do something different in the moment, but many people after the fact, they appreciate it much more because they've seen through time and experience how beneficial this type of opportunity would be to them. And no one said it better, I think, than one of our mentors in the program named Scott Robertson. Scott is an Aboriginal rights lawyer here in Canada. He's extremely passionate about Aboriginal rights and Indigenous people and communities in general in Canada. And he did a critical thinking workshop for our students a number of months ago. And during that session, Scott told us about his gap year. So before he went to university, and he's got 3 degrees now, before he went to university, he said, I'm going to travel, I want to take some time, I'm not ready for this. And he asked about 20 people if they wanted to go to Australia with him. And every single one of them turned him down, his friends. He said, okay, I'll go by myself. And he told us that every single one of those 20 people, between the gap year and now, 20 years later, every single one of them told him, I wish I did that with you. So I want to share that because I think it's important that even though it's hard to do something different now, it really is important. It can impact your life in such a meaningful way down the road. So it's food for you to consider. And I'd like to leave you with a quote that I think best captures the essence of what we're trying to do at Discover Year, and it's by a gentleman named Howard Thurman. And Howard Thurman said, ask not what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive, and go do that. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. And I like to say that a Discover Year is not a guaranteed 1-year journey to success, but this 1 year is the start of a lifelong journey to significance. We strive to help our students come alive, and we'd love to join you on your journey. Thank you very much for listening. I hope to meet you someday, and until then, I'm wishing you a life of action, of openness, and authenticity.